2 days since Mikel Arteta left the comparative smooth.
Might be up to Maitland-Niles and Kolasinac to take care of this fella, but
First arrived at the club, then he got injured, Alan. He's back tonight. Big boost.
yeah,
Tough times for the Arsenal manager, who has to keep an eye on Chelsea on Boxing Day, an eye on Wembley, and look over his shoulder at the same time. As such, 8 changes from defeated Everton, including a first appearance in this competition for Rune Runarsson. Looks like it may be a back 3, also an option of a 4. If it is a 3, Gabriel is certainly available again after serving his ban. Joe Willock scored the winning penalty in the Anfield shootout in the last round. Elneny, Ceballos and Maitland-Niles, they are the 3 survivors from Saturday. There is a more than welcome return for Gabriel Martinelli, back in an Arsenal starting 11 for the first time in 9 months after injury. No injured Aubameyang, Bukayo Saka, Willian and David Luiz are among those given the night off here. Pep Guardiola makes plenty of changes as well. 7 from the side that won at Southampton. American international Zach Steffen has started both previous rounds. A rare start for Aymeric Laporte, and even rarer one for Alexander Zinchenko. Fernandinho has only started 3 games since the last round in this competition back in September. He is back tonight. Not so Kevin De Bruyne, who gets a well-earned rest, as does Raheem Sterling. Phil Foden and Riyad Mahrez are the 2 drafted in there, behind Gabriel Jesus, who's recovered from the dental problems that kept him out on Saturday. Sergio Aguero's wait for a start goes on, though he's again on the bench along with Raheem Sterling. The message remains strong in the fight against racism and for equality. By the Ukrainian Zinchenko. Early moment, early goal, and Gabriel Jesus heads home with barely 2 minutes on the clock. His drought in front of goal is over. Arsenal's gloom deepens.
well, incredible, isn't it, to get a free header a couple of yards from goal. Gabriel, Mustafi stare at each other. Who was marking him? Who was responsible?
Gabriel back from his ban, going into...
It'd be so easy for Arsenal in their present mood and form.
It's looking ominous for Arsenal, promising for Manchester City. It's whistled wide by Fernandinho.
Yeah, already you see shoulders dropping amongst the home team here. A lack of intensity without the ball.
In the last round of this competition on penalties, beat Chelsea.
Well, they're going to have a lot of the ball tonight. And that's
all of those in the Europa League. They're in the Carabao, scoring for City. In by Ceballos, Lacazette puts it behind.
Yeah, 2.
Sliding it in tidily for his companion. João Cancelo. It's good improvisation. Cancelo. Mahrez. Block. In by Mahrez. Just wide. Aymeric Laporte, the man to meet it for Manchester City.
Well, there's 3 red.
Scorer of the goal, seeking a second. Elneny, a wild lunge. Stewart. Oh, the wall was well enough constructed. Runarsson's come a long way. In it comes from Cancelo. Over it goes from Rodri. A little bit of pushing and shoving in there. If you missed it earlier, there's no VAR involved at this stage of the Carabao Cup, so Stuart Atwell will have to pick the bones out of this one in the traditional manner.
It's certainly not nice for him to watch from that touchline. He's a really talented lad, somebody who can play in that number 10.
With Martinelli inviting over Willock's head and into the back of the net from Alex Lacazette. Against the run of play, most certainly. But Alex Lacazette has levelled it up for Arsenal.
I'll tell you what, Martinelli has led the fight here for Arsenal. If anything threatening has happened, it's been Martinelli, the teenager. Even he was surprised about that. It wasn't...
I think he knows the team sheet's the wrong way around. Mahrez, neat combination, Foden, it's Jesus, and Runarsson with a magnificent save. And Jesus came onto that for all the world. It looked like City were back in front.
Yeah, you'd have fancied him, but Runarsson needed that.
Himself onside. Steffen got there first, but only just. Now that was looked pretty clear handball.
Such a close run thing that Martinelli's come off worse, but he was millimetres away from getting a toe on this ahead of...
Chase here for Joe Willock. And that will be one. He went for the sprint, then he pulled up slightly, and Stuart Atwell brings a half of two halves to an end. Manchester City rearranged final at the end of April rather than at the end of February. Half-time assessed it. He'd have said I want a few more minutes out there, but managers were on the same side. Sergio Aguero getting his the first half. Here's Riyad Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez, Runarsson through his gloves into the back of the net. A desperate moment for Arsenal's number 2 goalkeeper, and goal number 2 for Manchester City.
Well, just when everybody's thinking he's going to whip one over that wall, he goes the keeper's side. He's got his body behind it, he's got his hands behind it, Runarsson, but...
On yet another place in the semi-final, and Foden finishes absolutely beautifully. A delight of a touch, and the road to Wembley is looking assured for Manchester City again as they close in on a place in the semi-finals.
Well, he hasn't played a big part in this match, Phil Foden, in the way that he has so often in a City shirt, but he's shown his quality here with that touch. Travelling.
He's going to have to wait a little.
Important that
against Fulham. Inviting from Cancelo. Maybe Ferran Torres. They both come back from Smith Rowe into Lacazette into the side netting.
Well, that was an example of Smith Rowe's abilities. He knew he was in a bit of space, he could turn, and it was a cute little pass into Lacazette's path.
Oh, he's lost Gabriel for dead. And from where we are, looked like it might have been an interesting shout for a penalty, but Stuart Atwell much closer, waved it away.
Yeah, difficult one this for Gabriel. He gets caught square on.
That's a delightful ball in, and Manchester City have another. Phil Foden puts it on a plate for Aymeric Laporte. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 4. It's becoming a procession at the Emirates.
Yeah, such was the quality of the cross. I mean, those City shirts are moving forward. The red and white ones.
Throw. Lacazette lurking at the far post.